rose, which actually is very synonymous with the supernatural. And so we brought back one of our very good friends of the show, ghost behaviorist and ghost doctor, Chris Burris. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Good. I'm great.
I'm good.
Easter.
Okay, so we were talking into the break, and it's just so interesting. Go ahead, tell us, what is Easter and why does it have ties to the supernatural?
Yeah, so I wanted to tie the paranormal with Easter because there are ties. They're kind of hidden. Yeah. So I wanted to discuss that. And it ties into the whole narrative of Jesus and the crucifixion story, because if you really dive into that, you see that Jesus died on a Friday, and it took him 3 days to rise from the dead. Right. As it says in the Apostles' Creed, you know, Jesus died on the cross, he went to the underworld, right, and then he came back on the third day, rose from the dead. Now, this is very interesting because when I interact with spirits since I'm a ghost behaviorist, right, and I've asked spirits, you know, is there kind of like this grace period that you go through? And they tell me, yes, there is. So this 3 is very significant. It's not only a very important biblical number, but this 3 keeps recurring in other religions when you research about the afterlife. Now, what happens after you die, the soul kind of goes into this temporary place. And no matter what religion, they talk about this temporary place. In Catholicism, they have limbo. You know, right, it's a temporary place that the soul goes and kind of gets your bearings. And this is a theme that I find with spirits, like there's just this grace period that they have to go through to get their bearings. And one of the things I love to ask spirits is, you know, after you die, did it take you a while to figure out that you were dead? And they'll tell me yes. And then I'll ask them, like, hey, did you look in a mirror, not see your reflection? It did, like, freak you out? And they're like, yes. Yes. So it's just a theme that runs through it. And to tie this in with world religions, you know, Catholicism has limbo. When you study Buddhism, they have a place called the Bardo, which you have to transcend. And Judaism has the Sheol, where it's this place shrouded in darkness. And don't think a literal darkness. Think like a mental darkness, because a lot of religion is allegory and things like that. So they'll talk about the underworld, and, you know, your soul has to go through this, because your soul's trying to grapple onto the afterlife and get their bearings. Right. Even the Egyptian Book of the Dead, they talk about how the soul has to go through this underworld for 3 days. Here we go, 3 again. 3 again. And it's just a common theme. Even in Kabbalah, it talks about the soul has to go into this underworld area, and there's a series of gates that the mind has to kind of go through before it transcends into the next step of the afterlife. Oh, okay. So, and it seems also kind of remarkable. Do you often get any kind of pushback when you kind of explain it this way, and now Jesus Christ, you know, limited kind of compared to a ghost? Do you get people that say, oh, no, it's not the same thing. It's something totally different? No, not really, because nobody has really put it together in this fashion. So it's knowledge that when you hear it, it makes sense. It's like, aha, you just have this aha moment. And that's, you know, as a ghost behaviorist, when I'm putting this stuff together and I'm doing lectures, I get that aha moment like go off all the time, because I'm talking about the paranormal, linking it with religion and things, life experiences, and you know, people just need this knowledge. People are starving for this knowledge, and when I do these lectures, they do not let me go. They just keep me talking until I like want to pass out, and I have to say, okay, I gotta go home at some point. I gotta go home. I gotta go do something. But when you bring out knowledge like this, people are like, wow, that's so cool. You know, I want to know about the afterlife. Exactly. And so do you now, once he rose, do you believe that Jesus now is in the afterlife, or how? What is it? Yeah, absolutely. There's a Gospel of Nicodemus. This is another thing we'll talk about a little later. After the break, right? But there's a lot of apocryphal texts, and I love looking into the apocryphal texts because they've been untouched by man for thousands of years. And it talks about Jesus going into the underworld, and then he brought a bunch of people out of hell with him. So it's very neat. All right, cool. All right, well, you guys stay right there. We are going to get more into that right after the break. Don't move a muscle.